Thursday evening to you. Thanks for being with us here on Closing Arguments. I'm Julie Grant, sitting in for Vinnie Politan, who's got the week off. We start this hour with an update for you in the Rachel Morin murder case. Investigators have identified a suspect. That is big breaking news tonight in the death of the mother of 5. 37 years old. This is her, Rachel Morin, disappearing, was reported missing, and then her body discovered a day after she went on a run on the Ma and Pa hiking trail in Harford County, Maryland, and never returned home. A short time ago, the sheriff's office held a press conference with some very big new developments.
Thank you for coming out tonight. I am Colonel William Davis, Chief Deputy of the Harford County Sheriff's Office. I know this briefing comes in late in the day, but last night we received critical pieces of information, and our detectives have been working throughout the night and today running down our new leads. As you know, since Saturday, August 5th, 12 days ago, the Harford County Sheriff's Office has been working around the clock to get justice for Rachel Morin and hopefully bring peace to her family. Since that first day, over 300 community tips have flooded our inboxes and emails. DNA evidence is part of nearly every modern-day investigation, and in Rachel's case, DNA evidence was collected by our Forensic Services Unit. That DNA was analyzed by the Maryland State Police, and it was ran through the National CODIS system. This DNA evidence has come back as a match, tied to a home invasion and an assault of a young girl in Los Angeles this past March. Unfortunately, that suspect has not been positively identified, but he did leave behind his DNA. Based on the DNA evidence, we consider the individual in the video we obtained from the Los Angeles Police Department and that we are about to show you on our TV screens to be the person that murdered Rachel Morin on August 5th. We believe the suspect to be approximately 5'9", 160 pounds, and of Hispanic descent. If you have any information about this suspect, we are asking you to please call our detectives at our tip line. And the tip line number is 410-836-7788. And we've also established a dedicated tip email address, and that email address is rmtips@harfordsheriff.org.
I want to welcome in now a very special guest to join us live, the man you just saw in that press conference during our 7 p.m. hour, Colonel William Davis, the Chief Deputy with the Harford County Sheriff's Office. Colonel, first of all, thank you so much for your time. I know you and your colleagues are very busy, and might I just start by saying bravo with this fast work in this big revelation with that video you were able to share with the world tonight. Tell us, please, our courties are very invested in this case and want to see justice for Rachel Morin and her family. What can they do tonight to help you solve this case, please?
So when we got the evidence from the LAPD with the video that we showed earlier at our press conference, and the Sheriff Gaylor, when he saw the video, he was adamant. He goes, we have to get that video out to our community. We need to make sure our community is informed of who this possible suspect is, and then we also wanted to share it. Obviously, this has gotten international attention, so we wanted to share it around the country and around the world, because obviously he was in California in March, and he was here in Maryland in August. So there's a whole country between there where he might have been committing crimes. So we're hoping that somebody will watch that video. We know it's a side profile, and then it has his body, but we're thinking that somebody who knows him will be able to recognize him from that video and hopefully come forward with a name and identity of that suspect.
Exactly, Colonel. I know our courties will share it and share it again and study it and screen grab still shots from it and look closely at that video. And so this is where he's leaving the home of that child in California that police say he assaulted there. It's your belief that he assaulted Rachel Morin based on the DNA. What wonderful technology we have nowadays using the CODIS system. I know you haven't said much because of the fear of compromising the investigation with Rachel Morin's death. And we certainly understand that and we respect that here. I just have to ask, and you tell me what you can tell us, please, Colonel. Can you tell us, was there a sex assault, or does there appear to have been an attempted sex assault on Rachel Morin?
I understand why you asked that question, and as I've said in pretty much every interview that I have done, we're not going to release that information right now because, again, we want to make sure that the only people that know what happened to Rachel at that time when she was murdered are us and the suspect. And then, of course, after hopefully we catch this guy and we get him in custody, we'll be able to release more information about that then.
Right. We certainly respect that. I completely get it, Colonel. I used to serve as a prosecutor. A lot of people wondering if there was a weapon used to kill her or if she was killed in a violent assault just with someone's fists. Are you able to share anything regarding that tonight?
Unfortunately, I'm getting pretty good at saying, no, I can't talk about that right now. And I'm going to have to say it again now because, I mean, you said it. You understand why it's important that we don't put that information out until we get this person
I
in
certainly
custody.
get it. Is there anything else?
I will say that he is a very violent person.
Very violent, yeah.
I will say he was a very violent person.
Right, right. I remember when the news first broke and your department had said this was a very violent homicide. Of course, our stomachs are turning just imagining how this beautiful young woman was killed. Her kids, she leaves behind 5 children. I know they range in ages. If you know, Colonel, do you know how they're doing tonight or who might be caring for them at this time?
I mean, obviously, they're struggling with the loss of their mother. We met with the family today and informed them of this information that we got. We showed them the evidence that we had before we did the press conference. And all the kids are being taken care of by their remaining family.
Every good wish, our hearts go out to all of those children and everyone who loved her so much. You had mentioned, you touched on this a little in the press conference, and I wondered if you could address perhaps this now, the idea that this seems to be more of a random act of violence versus somebody who knew her. Is that right, Colonel? Well,
obviously, when this incident first happened, there was a lot of attention, especially on social media, targeting that everybody believed that her current boyfriend at the time was the suspect. We believe this DNA evidence rules him out of that. And so we don't know whether it was random. We have no information as far as our investigation goes that this suspect was known to Rachel or that he knew Rachel. So we're going to err on the side of caution and believe that and put it out there that our community needs to be cautious, pay attention to their surroundings. As I said in the press conference, don't be engrossed in your cell phone. Don't have your headphones turned up so loud that you can't hear what's going on around you, and just pay attention to your surroundings. And we're going to have as much deployment out there as possible to try to keep the community safe. But the one thing I want to say is, you know, this incident occurred on the Ma and Pa Trail, and the incident in LA occurred in a home. So as much as we're keeping the Ma and Pa Trail safe, if this guy's still out there in our community, and we don't know if he's still here or he has left, but this type of assault with him could occur anywhere.
I appreciate you saying that, Colonel. I think that's really important as we have many viewers in Maryland where you are. Many of them reached out on Facebook as we've been covering this story and said, what a nice area this is. The Bel Air area is so nice, and this is just shaken the whole community, understandably so. So that advice really rings true for everyone, no matter what community you're in. As you said, we don't know whether this guy had the means to travel anywhere or did travel, or whether he has ties anywhere, right? You don't know tonight whether he's got ties to the Maryland community where this occurred or not, right?
Right, that's absolutely right. And because of his Hispanic descent, you know, we're working with our Hispanic community leaders here in hopes that maybe they know him or they may be able to help us identify who he is. So, yeah, he could be anywhere right now, anywhere in the country, really.
That's wonderful. You're working with them. I'm sure they're going to want to help you out. In studying that video, Colonel, because I'm sure everyone's going to want to look at it closely, try to pause it, zoom in. Have your investigators picked up on any other details, any tattoos or scars or anything about him that could also lead to identification that our viewers should know about tonight?
Yeah, obviously we've played that video 1,000 times, and really the only identifying things that we really can see in the video, it appears that he's wearing what looks like possibly a gold chain. We're trying to get information if there is any kind of a pendant on that gold chain, but right now we don't have that. It doesn't appear that he has any tattoos, but as you can see in the video, he also appears to be in pretty good physical shape. So we're acting on that as well as for places we're going to go and look for him. And it's hard to tell, but as many times as we looked at it, whether or not he possibly has facial hair or not, is
it is hard to tell, right? And the hair could be different too, seeing as how that was March. You know, here we are in August, so his hair could be a little longer, right, than it is in that video. It looks like he's got kind of a faded cut, a little shorter on the sides, longer on the top.
Right.
Is there anything else that you think we should be asking you tonight that you can possibly answer for us, Colonel? You've been so gracious with your time, and we understand you've got to protect the investigation and get this crime solved.
No, just again, I mean, we appreciate you having us on and highlighting this case so that the video is shared around as much as possible, so that it's only going to take one person who really knows him to identify him. And we just want people to share that video and help us try to find out who he is.
Absolutely.
We have other investigative leads that we're running down trying to identify him, but you know, we struggled on whether to put the video out or hold on to it until we can try to figure more information out. But the sheriff was very adamant, and he's right. We have to get it out to the community so they are aware of what this guy looks like in case they see him.
That was a great call. Oh, we will share it. Our viewers will share it. I promise you that. Please let us know if you have anything else, any license plate, anything. Let us know, Colonel, and we'll be glad to put it on our air. Thank you so much for your time. Colonel William Davis, the Chief Deputy at the Harford County Sheriff's Office in Maryland. Thanks to you and your colleagues for all the great work on this.
Thank you, Julie.